Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Putt.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Glad you could be here. Thank you very much. Today is the 23rd of November, 2016. That's on the Gregorian calendar. The sun sign is in Sagittarius. The moon sign is in a void of course phase. It will be moving into Libra at 1:42 p.m. It's been in this void of course phase since yesterday afternoon at 4:06 p.m. So a couple hours to go until the moon gets into the next phase. Air sign, so we'll have air and fire. Air is underneath, wanting us to express ourselves, express the justice that is taking place within our lives, express the ways in which we can balance ourselves out. And of course, we're looking through the lens of Sagittarius, the higher self, which is wanting us to look at things from a higher perspective. Okay? We have one aspect, a sextile at 5:56 p.m. that's going to take place between the moon and the sun, between Sagittarius and Libra, between that fire and that air. So nice, good, positive flow of energy between there. The moon phase itself is currently 27.6% of the way back to the new moon. New moon will be on the 29th. Getting closer by the minute, 6 days from today. On the Jewish calendar, today is 22 Cheshvan. 22 Cheshvan. And over at space weather, solar wind currently is at 420.3 kilometers per second. Planetary K index, quiet at a 2. Looks like it might get unsettled 4 over the next 24 hours. M-class flare possibility. Oh, let's see. Corona hole, big one on top of the sun. Still there. M-class and X-class both at 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity. Looks like it is stabilized in the mid-latitudes, 40%. So it's moving pretty good. In the upper latitudes, it's also stable at about 20%. So we're in that in-between phase as we're breathing in and out of the universe. So there you have it. That's what we're dealing with today. Fire sign for the next month, which is the conscious mind, the higher self, and the current unconscious mind activity taking place today and tomorrow will be an air sign, Libra, wanting to find some balance in the things that we're doing around us, balance in our lives, justice to the things that are happening. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today I have 4 stories. Story number 1 comes to us from Winter Park, Colorado. This was taken the other day, the 22nd. UFO was spotted over a hill in Colorado yesterday. Web camera caught a black UFO moving over the mountaintop. Eyewitness says, I was monitoring the Winter Park, Colorado ski resort town webcam. For my job, we do operational cloud seeding for the resort to increase snowpack and use the cameras to monitor weather conditions. The frames update every 3 minutes, to my knowledge. In one frame there was nothing but the normal view. The next frame, a black disc-like object appears just over the mountaintop. Next frame, nothing. Too close to the mountain to be a drone or plane. Confirmed with the resort that there were no helicopters present this morning. Given the distance and the size of the object, it's unlikely that it was a bird, bug, etc. My colleagues and I have been using this webcam for years, and this has never occurred before. All right, there you go, Winter Park, Colorado. Moving from there, let's jump over to Russia, and we have a flying person. Ancient monk seen flying over city of Russia. Proof of aliens among us. Alright, this new video discusses the possibilities of this being a flying monk that lived in the area. I do admit that it does have a lot of similarities to the monk. Also, yes, some aliens could fly like this, but not most. For example, energy beings easily move about without the need for legs. If this is indeed a local monk, then we know for sure that he was never human, that he never died, but has technology for living forever and still to this day. Okay, so let me jump ahead. This is a 3-minute video. And let's see if we can jump ahead here to see the flying man. Actually be the flying monk. Well, doesn't look like we're getting any cooperation here. Alright, so there you go. That's what the picture of the guy looks like. Okay, flying monk. You think that looks like him? Kind of similar. Can't see his face in there, but similar in appearance. Alright, moving from there, we go over to Japan, and a teenager saw this object here in the sky, November 22nd. This UFO is a definite sign that aliens are involved with the catastrophes around the world. There are 3 main hypotheses about which they are doing: monitoring and watching human reactions to problems, causing the problems to gather energy, opening deep caverns the size of cities underground, trying to contain as much of the damage as they can. For instance, the meteor over Russia suddenly exploded before hitting a big city back in 2013, seems to have been destroyed midair to prevent an explosive on the ground. Okay, so the teenager filmed the meteorite UFO burning across the sky following the Japanese earthquake. Teenager 16 from Japan filmed the extraordinary sight trailing across the evening sky. Video emerged as the country absorbed a 7.3 magnitude earthquake that has shaken Tokyo after striking off the coast of Japan. Early reports said the tsunami had been issued. Okay, so there's our object in question. Big white fireball of sorts. This is kind of what I saw a couple weeks ago. Certainly wasn't the same one as when this hit, but definitely saw something streaking across the sky like this. The video itself is 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And there's our object right there, streaking across the sky. Okay. Very good. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And one more story here. Astrophysicist says aliens, extraterrestrials are everywhere. An astrophysicist from Columbia University claims that aliens are everywhere, but we could just not see them. The scientist, Caleb Scharf, explains what the ancient life forms transformed themselves into the physical world and are causing mysterious forces like dark matter and dark energy. Perhaps hyper-advanced life isn't just external, perhaps it's already around. Astrophysicist Cale Scharf explained, in other words, life might just be in equations, it might just be the equations. The scientist asserts that this is just a theory. His work has been published in an article on Nautilus. Scharf adds that aliens are so advanced that we cannot explain what they are using the laws of physics. He says that the theory is similar to how some people view some objects as magical because they are not familiar with it. What if life has moved so far that it doesn't just appear magical but appears like physics? The astrophysicist added, after all, if the cosmos holds other life, and if some of that life has evolved beyond our own waypoints of complexity and technology, we should be considering some very extreme possibilities. Recently, a video was uploaded on YouTube showing a fleet of unidentified flying objects taking off from the lunar surface. Alien believers claim that these UFOs, most likely of alien origin, are actually guarding the moon and trying to protect it from humans. Meanwhile, the video has been questioned by others. A photographer explains that the objects are not alien but are simply the product of optical illusion. UFOs are not what you're seeing. It's a phenomena seen at any time you look at the moon's edge. I have a lot of telescope time. You can see them all the time. It's called chromatic aberration. You see it more and more when the lens is out of focus as well, as in this video. Okay, so there you go. So we've got some say there's extraterrestrials and aliens around. Others are saying this is just anomalies. Same story, different day, basically. Same story, different day. And there you go. That's our UFO news for today. I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're illusion from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What if I land and two if I see? And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
All right, continuing on. So today, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take some time just to kind of throw out my 2 cents on some things, kind of bring my my perspective to what's happening. Because there's a lot of changes taking place. We've had the presidential election, Donald Trump, president-elect, Mike Pence, vice president-elect. We see they're going through their transition, but we continue to have all sorts of challenges on the other side of the fence. We still have the protests going on. We still have information and evidence that George Soros is behind what is taking place. He's continuing to push this. There's a racial narrative that is taking place in the media. They're continuing to push that. And then, of course, you keep hearing periodically about the Electoral College and the push to make the election, to do a recount on the election. Well, is any of this going to come to fruition? I don't know. There was a lot of voter fraud that took place with Hillary and Hillary's camp. And so if they want to start talking about voter fraud, well, then we need to start talking about the voter fraud that Hillary was engaged with. I want to show you some articles over here just to show you that there is some support out there for Mr. Trump from high places. One of them here is the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama says he will visit Trump in a move bound to anger China. Exiled Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama said on Wednesday that he would visit U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, a meeting that would infuriate Beijing, which views the Nobel Peace Prize-winning monk as a dangerous separatist. Speaking during a visit to Mongolian capital Ulaanbaatar and asked about the U.S. election, Dalai Lama said, "He's always considered the United States a leading nation of the free world. I think there are some problems to go to the United States, so I will go to see the new president," he told the reporters without elaborating. President Barack Obama met with Dalai Lama at the White House in June, despite a warning by China that it would damage diplomatic relations. It was Obama's fourth White House meeting with the Dalai Lama in the past 8 years. In Beijing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Geng Shuang said that Dalai Lama traveled the globe seeking audiences with foreign leaders to try to damage relations between them and China. "We hope the international community can further see clearly the anti-China separatist essence of the Dalai Lama and appropriately and cautiously handle Tibet-related issues," Geng told the Daily News briefly. The Dalai Lama, speaking English, brushed off some of the U.S. election's campaign rhetoric. "Sometimes I feel during the election the campaign has more freedom to express. Once elected, having the responsibility, you have to tell you their sort of vision, their works according to reality." All right, so we'll see what happens here, but, you know, again, there is support out there, and then there's others who are challenging some of that support. Here in the United States, we definitely are seeing the challenges that are going on. A lot of people having trouble accepting Donald Trump as the president-elect. They were so convinced that Hillary was going to win this election that they now are in shock that it didn't go that they wanted. And of course they're screaming, "Hillary won the popular vote." But there's really no proof of that. What there is evidence of is voter fraud. Voter fraud of illegal votes from illegals in the tune of 3 million plus. Then of course we have 60,000 felons. And then we have anybody else that might have voted that was illegal, since Obama said people could go ahead and do that. And then, of course, there's all the dead people that were registered as Democrat that voted as well. So there's a big challenge. There's an article stating that there's evidence suggesting that there was hacking that occurred with some of the voting processes, except it seems that the areas where they're trying to claim hacking occurred were areas where they used paper ballots, and they didn't have a system that would have been hacked. So you're going to hear lots of stories out there. Lots of stories. You just need to keep the faith. Keep the faith, and, you know, just keep sending good thoughts and good positive vibes to President-elect and his family so that we can get through this process smoothly. Now, in regards to what is going on with the transition, I need to tell people out there, just settle down, will you? Every day I'm reading papers. Donald Trump backtracked. Donald Trump's going back on his word. Donald Trump isn't doing this. Goodness gracious. Are we that much of a instant gratification society that we're going to demand that this guy does things that he isn't capable of doing yet? He's not the president yet. He is still working to get himself in office. So before you get all excited about everything he says and start talking about how he's backtracking, remind yourself he's not in office yet. He doesn't have the ability at this point in time to push forward on some of the things he wants to do. He can simply make the plans and make the transition that he's going through, but that's where he's at right now. Okay? So don't put the cart above the horse, in front of the horse. Don't start thinking that we're into the policy phase with him, because we're not there yet. He still has to go through the final process of the Electoral College, and then he has to go through the inauguration. and that isn't until the 20th of January. So we still have some time this is going to play out. You're going to hear a lot of nonsense. You're going to hear a lot of lies, a lot of misrepresentation. Don't buy into it, and don't get so excited thinking and hanging on every word that he says, because the lying media is going to make more of it than what it is. Don't expect that Donald Trump is going to come out and tell you his whole plan. He's not going to go out and tell you his whole plan of what he wants to do with Hillary. Why would he do that? That would be stupid. And you got people out there complaining, Donald Trump's not telling us what he's going to do with Hillary. Donald Trump says he's not going to. Donald Trump's not in office yet. He has to play the game, okay? So allow the man to play the game and quit trying to micromanage everything he's doing. Let him get in. Let him get the people in office that he needs. Let him build his team and give him an opportunity to do it, and quit micromanaging every little thing he does and everything he says and everything that the press interprets. We know that the press lies, so why would anyone believe what the press is saying at this point in time? Just watch. Just observe and watch what's going on without getting caught up in believing what he is or isn't doing at this point in time. He's still working to get into the office, and he won't be there until the 20th of January. So keep sending good vibes. Keep knowing that the lies from the left are going to keep coming. Keep knowing that the lies from the media are going to keep coming. Keep knowing that they're going to do everything in their power to discourage and to dismantle the beliefs of those who are supporting Donald Trump. Just don't believe the lies. Remember, we made it through this whole process where we didn't believe the lies. The mainstream media is tripping over themselves trying to figure out why it is they didn't get this election result right, because they were lying. And look how it benefited the Trump people, because they didn't believe the lies, and therefore they showed up to vote. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, a lot of Democrats and liberals didn't go to vote. Why? Because they believed the lies of the mainstream media. Common element here, common factor, the mainstream media is lying to you. Your decision to decide if you're going to believe those lies or not. You should have enough examples by now to know what decision to make, and if you're still going to believe the lies of the media, then I leave you to your own devices, because at this point in time, if that's what you feel you need to do for you to make yourself feel better, then nothing I or anyone can do to stop you. One day you'll realize they're lying to you. Maybe that might not be today. Maybe it might be. I don't know. Whatever the case is going on, though, we need to look at the energy around us. And there's two energies at work here. One energy is love, and one energy is fear. Love shows us the possibilities of all that can exist, of all the things that are going to take place. Fear, false expectations appearing real, is what is being pumped out by the media to try to scare people, to try to discourage people. Okay? If we look at fear and we get caught up in fear, we're not going to do anything that we want to do. We're going to be paralyzed to move. If we move towards love, we're going to find ourselves moving freely to accomplish the things we want to accomplish. That's it. Those two things, fear and love. Depends on which way we're going to go. Here's an article, Metatron's lesson, Love versus Fear and Ascension. Love versus Fear and Ascension. From Alexa Pearson, says the United States has just endured one of the most polarizing elections in modern history. The reverberations from this election are likely far from over, and just like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, duality and all of its fading 3D glory is raising its young head and begging for attention. As a practitioner, I have little interaction with the election, but I recently found myself working with some friends in my circle who've been extremely catalyzed by the recent events, which led me back to my writings. Metatron immediately pointed me to a specific passage that directly relates to what we are experiencing on a global level. By early 2011, I'd become Metatron's attentive student. His lesson on this particular day was firmly rooted in a topic I spent my entire lifetime attempting to understand: fear. In true Metatron style, he didn't waste any time getting started. I barely had time to find a pen and paper when he abruptly began communicating with me. The following passage is an excerpt taken directly from my journals. I recorded the experience as fully as possible of the pages of a small journal. For the sake of authenticity, I have not altered the selection in any way. Journal entry. Open your mind. Open your heart. You are free and safe. Be true. Own your existence. Don't waste your life in fear. Time is of the essence. It is short. Don't spend time in regret. Be who you really are and express your uniqueness. Source loves your true heart. Never fear your fear. Embrace your light. There is no wrong nor judgment. Be free of the escape. In escapism, we lose the heart, ourselves, and become other than Source. Life is the experience. Do not run from the adventure, no matter where it might take you. Life never ends. There is no judgment. Choose wisely and from your heart. Fear, not fear. Fear not the unknown, for in the shadows of your mind lurks true understanding. Face your fears and do not look back nor judge, for you walk in the light of your Creator, in the light of unconditional love and understanding. As a child is born and walks among men, so too does the soul move through the cosmos, one foot leading, directing the other, falling, then rising again, only to learn the method in reasoning. Only in matters of truth it is much different. Earthly laws do not apply. Life is the experience of living. It is not the end. This is the joyride of the soul and the whim of the Creator. Do not take seriousness and dread in any aspects, for it is about the reflection of living, the reflection to Source, so it may know and experience itself. Fret not in anything, for the Creator finds joy in the play. Returning to Source, the cycle of life repeats over and over until the essence finds pause and return. There are no mistakes. Live life to the fullest and fear not, regret not. Embrace the spark within and find the joy that we see God and become Source and become one. Okay, so here's the whole interpretation from the writer here. It's rather lengthy. I'm going to leave that for you to read because I think the journal entry in itself speaks for itself. We can either choose fear. We can live in fear. We can allow fear to keep us down, and then with this fear comes regret that we didn't do the things we wanted to do. Or we could simply push away from fear, step past any of those false expectations, and move towards love. Move towards the positivity. And if we do that, everything changes. I know that we want to make life so complicated sometimes, but it's not supposed to be complicated. The words of Jesus were that if we must be like a little child to enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, that's not a complicated process. It's either we think about love or we think about fear. Think of how a little child behave. They're not all complicated. They're looking at the simplicity of things. When they're afraid of something, they show their fear. When they're loving something, they show the love. And so we just need to look at things from that simplicity. We have a complex mind as we've gotten older to understand things, so we have a little bit more understanding than the child. But nonetheless, the answers, the decisions are as simple as they were back then. We just have to stop overcomplicating what we think are the answers. Now, I brought this video up because I wanted to show you that there are really cool things happening all the time. There is guidance around us, forces that are around to help us. And here is a story of exactly one of these. This is a story of a guardian angel that appeared in this picture. Guardian angel photographed with dying girl. There's the girl, the mother, and definitely some sort of being there. You could see, looks like the head, 2 arms. Looks like it's wearing some sort of long robe to the sleeves. The grieving mother believes she captured the image of a guardian angel in a selfie she took with her dying daughter just weeks before the teen died of a rare form of liver cancer. Sarah Danbury of Lincolnshire, England, and her daughter Amy Beckham, 19, were in London for treatment at the Royal Free Hospital when they decided to take several photographs inside the hotel room to show Cher's husband where they were staying. There were only 2 lights on the side of the room and they were both switched off. You can't explain it, it's weird. When Amy saw the picture, she said, "It's my guardian angel." Amy died just 3 weeks after the photo was taken. Alright, so very cool. Very cool indeed. So, we have this guidance all around us. You know, we never have to feel like we're alone in all of this journey. We do have guidance, assistance. Maybe it's somebody that we knew from, a lifetime. Maybe it's someone we never knew from this lifetime, maybe from another lifetime. Or maybe it's just someone we only know in between lives. Whatever the case may be, there's plenty of guidance. And all we have to do is reach out and find that there is plenty of assistance around us that wants us to move forward with love and positivity and God and all those good things. Alright? Alright. That brings us to our meditation, so close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another breath. And exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. Now let's just imagine ourselves looking down a hallway. And as we look down this hallway, we see the other end far, far away. And in between, here and there, it is dark. And we begin to walk towards the light. And as we walk into the darkness, even though we see the light straight ahead, we at first are concerned about the darkness and what might be hiding in it. But we gather our strength and we move through. And as we do, we find that the feelings of fear dissipate. And the more we focus on the light at the end, at the love and the positivity, the fear dissipates. And pretty soon the hallway, which was dark, becomes lit with a light from an unknown source. As we look in a mirror, we see this unknown source that is shining the light, and we find that it is us. Shining bright, the light that shines through us out into the world. At which point we realize that we are participants in this process, co-creators, sharing that which we have been given to share. Sharing the light, sharing the love, sharing the spirit that flows through us. Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, thank you for the blessings of this day and all days prior to this. We look forward to the opportunities to make better choices as we move along the path of the future. We pray this day that we are able to overcome our fears and move closer towards love. We send out blessings and positive energy that we might assist others that come in contact with us to overcome their doubts and fears as well. And we pray that the world finds peaceful solution to the problems challenging it this day. We thank you for all your light and your positivity, and for the blessings of the Christ light that shines and emanates through each and every one of us. May we recognize this presence within ourselves, and may we be courageous enough to allow it to shine out into the world. So let the subconscious mind continue walking the path of life, shining bright the light that shines through us, lighting up the areas of darkness wherever we go. Let's just see the subconscious mind and see ourselves on that journey. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith, and 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. All right, my friends, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. FirstContactRadio.com is the site you can go to find out all the news and information from these stories. I also have the YouTube channel. And then, of course, sign on to the Twitter feed. It's at First Contact now. You can also find me at Facebook. Lots of different ways that we can share information with each other. That's it for today. Hope you have an awesome time preparing for the Thanksgiving feast ahead. Until then, I love you. Keep loving each other, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.